70% of men aged 18 to 24 visit a porn site at least once per month.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mentality. It's your boy Gamble, and as always, I'm here with Simmons. Today we're discussing the modern epidemic, pornography addiction. Why is this a problem, and how do we overcome it? Stay tuned as we chop it up in another interesting episode. All right, welcome back to the show, guys. Drew, how you feeling today, bro?
Been better, been worse. Still alive, still breathing. Corona free. How you feeling, boss?
I'm feeling good, but this topic's gonna have me feeling a little cringy. But let's do it.
I got a question for you.
Let's do it, man. What up?
How old were you when you saw your first pornographic image or video?
I don't even remember, for real. My first image, I mean, it depends on which you consider to be a pornographic image.
Titties.
I don't remember. I really don't remember. My first video, I remember I was in middle school when I saw that. Because I remember everybody thought I was weird for not having seen it. And I was like, oh, I guess I gotta check this porn shit out. And I checked it out.
Gotta see what these kids are talking about.
Yeah,
There's
man.
shit going on, man.
Check it out.
Okay.
I think it might have been like a gangbang too. It's fucking crazy.
Start fucking
Yeah,
raw.
fucking starting. Ooh.
Damn.
Jesus. Yeah.
This first
Oh,
drink
man.
is tequila. Holy fuck. All right.
What about you, man? How old was you?
I was 7 years old.
Oh shit.
It was on LimeWire.
Hey, yo, this nigga said LimeWire, dog.
Went over to my buddy's house, and his brother's only like a year older than us, not even. He was like, yo, come upstairs. I gotta see this shit. He was like, all right, bet. Go in his mom's room. His mom's is at work. Go in his mom's room, hop on the computer. He was like, yo, he didn't say like you ever see porn or something, but like you ever see fucking or some shit like that? Whatever he used to fucking say, his little kids and shit. Like, no, I see. What you got there? Let me see. I'll never forget it. It was a brunette, white New Balance sneakers and thick ass sweat socks and nothing else. Riding the dick.
Hey, yo. All right. Why
it's
the
just-
vivid memory? Do you feel like that's a
went from
scar?
there.
Because that's an interesting topic. Because if you were like 7 years old and you can remember that shit this vividly, that says something about what porn does to your brain. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna preface this by saying there is some genuine, like, good-natured, like, there's wholesome, hardcore pornography. You know, two completely consenting people who don't feel forced to have to do it for money or views. Just two people making love on film. There you go. You use it for what you want. And there's porn that is not that. And at 7 years old, you shouldn't be seeing either one of those things. You haven't even fucking held a girl's hand. And you seeing a whole birth canal, like, on demand, like, it's so. I remember how hard it was back in the day to get like a quality fucking, like back in the day, if you had like the little cable box, when they go to Channel 99 and shit, Channel 99 would play Playboy shit for like 2 seconds before it's like, oh, you gotta subscribe to Playboy and shit.
Right.
You just go back and forth between the channels, see a titty here, a nipple there, see a butt over here, a butt over there, before it like block out and shit. That's what you had to do before you had access to the computers and shit to be able to watch porn. So fucking, it wasn't my house, it wasn't my computer. Therefore, the only way I was able to see naked chicks was at my friend's house. I ain't finna go over there every day like, hey, let's go to your mom's room.
Right.
Let's go on the computer real quick. I mean, I did, but like, shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Here's
fucking-
my thing about porn. And so like just to clarify today too, the topic we're kind of talking about is porn addiction, NoFap, and semen retention. How do these things tie in each other, and do they really work? What are some of the positives and negatives from either one of them? But I think when it comes to porn, right? Like porn is not something that actually started like today. It's not new, actually, at all. Like porn
Just old as time,
started
man.
like in the fucking 18th century and shit, whereas like people are like making sculptures of like erotic things, and people were making paintings and writing about it. But I think you kind of touched on something that I think is important, because it's the access to porn and the level of consumption that I think makes it even worse today. And it's like people say we are like, it's an epidemic or whatever call it. It is like a crazy thing. Like a lot of people are addicted to porn. And I think as we move forward in society too, it's starting to become more and more normal. Whereas like I feel like everyone knows that almost everyone has watched porn at some point in their lives. And it's like you would almost be a liar if you said you didn't. You know what I mean? Like you most likely are. Um, but so I think that's the unnatural part, where I feel like there's nothing normal about like really watching two people have sex. I don't think, personally. And it's the
It's not.
level of access that we have, and the instant gratification that we like look forward to when we like watch porn and just like let one out. I think that's the biggest danger when I look at porn.
The access thing is what scares me for like people my niece's age, my nephew's age and shit. When they get phones and they go to school, like it's just naturally like that's what's gonna happen. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can do everything in your power to put parental control on your kid's phone and make sure that they know, hey, this is what this is. Don't watch it because it does X, Y, and Z to your brain.
Right.
Cool. This motherfucker's kid just got brand new out the box phone with no guidance on it whatsoever.
Right.
He's just like, hey, look at this. Boom. Just that's it. The seal is broken. You've been exposed to some nasty ass shit. Like some he's got some for us a fucking 9-year-old, he's got some quality ass fucking flicks on his phone. Just here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go.
HD bright and shit, retina display.
HDR fucking got the VR headsets and shit.
Right.
You ever seen VR? Dog, have you
I've
seen that
never,
shit?
but I heard that shit.
I see so many dead people in their fucking apartments with a fleshlight wrapped around their dick
my
and just
God.
fucking emaciated for how, dog. I know we're talking about how bad porn is, but holy shit, this was amazing, all right? I got this shit on my head. It's a chick over here and a chick
Holy
here.
shit.
And this chick walked from behind me. I'm like, oh,
What
shit,
the
just get the fuck out of me.
Behind you?
She walked from behind me and was like, oh, hey, like, and then it's just all three of them just sucking on some floating dick. It was crazy.
Oh,
For
shit.
free.
Wait.
For free.
So it's designed to make you feel like you're the subject that's receiving
Yes.
the fellatio.
Yes, you put it on and
Jesus.
you have a new body. You see, like, your hands and shit. And then, like, this chick's just, like, from your perspective. Like,
Real quick,
perfect.
can you pick what skin color you are?
No, it's not like that yet.
Fuck.
Not
That's
yet.
some bullshit.
My dick was white, and that's what threw me off. I was like, this is crazy. Oh. I was like, it's almost good, y'all. It's almost good.
Interesting. Yo, that is fucking bizarre. Yeah, these kids are done for it. I'm sorry.
Yo.
Because our generation was
I don't know
fucked,
what to do.
but they are done for it. Here's the thing, too.
LimeWire was bad.
So, like, I know, when it comes to the signs of porn a little bit more, to kind of break that down a little bit, too, it's like, my understanding is that basically because of the dopamines that's released when you're, like, watching this shit, right? It becomes a vicious cycle because you always need more and more. Because, like, let's say if you watched, I don't know, well, you're not me. You didn't start off by, like, watching a fucking gangbang. Let's just say you watched a fucking chick and a dude, right? And then you watch that enough, that releases a certain amount of dopamine. Next time you probably gonna need something a little bit more. So you probably need, I don't know, you probably need to see a bigger ass or something, or bigger titties or something. And you keep doing that. It becomes this vicious cycle because every time you need more and more stimulation to kind of get you to that level that you was before. Is that correct so far?
100%.
All right, back. So for people who are in relationships, it can like, there are studies, majority of the studies that I saw pretty much agreed and said there is a correlation to like how porn addiction can like ruin your relationship, because like you start to lose sight of reality. And it's like everything that you do is now more and more ingrained in like this computer screen that you're looking at. There was one study that came out in 2015 that said It doesn't necessarily correlate, but for the most part, the vast majority of like studies are all like showing signs of that. So that's what we're gonna go with. Feel like that is potentially true. Do you think people can like ruin their relationships just by like watching excessive amount of porn?
So it depends on what excessive is, because I know that there's definitely some couples that they both watch porn and they both fucking they like it and they're able to be without it. But that's their thing. Like some couples role play, some couples do BDSM, some couples watch porn together, some people go fucking public places and shit like that. Everyone's got their little kink,
Right.
I think. Or maybe they don't, and porn's just fucked me up to think everyone's doing some freaky ass shit. I don't know.
That's a good point.
I'm walking around thinking motherfuckers got whips and chains and butt plugs in all goddamn day. So I don't
Yeah.
know if that's
Yeah.
not the case, then your stats 100% right. It can fuck you up real quick because you have expectations of your partner based on what you've seen and been exposed to, and they're just strictly vanilla. Then you're not gonna be satisfied, and they can be put off by all the adventurous shit that you want to do.
I can definitely say that I can attest to that. Like in terms of like, expectations. Like when I first saw porn, I hadn't had sex yet. Um, After when I like when I was gonna have sex, I was like, okay, obviously like what you do is she sucks your dick first. You hit it really hard, and then you bust a nut on her face. So that was 100%,
Dang.
100% what I thought, and that's exactly what I was trying to emulate. And it takes growing to be more mature to kind of get connected to like a human perspective to understand that like that's not necessarily what's like what someone might want. You know what I mean? People are different. Um, but yeah, like, did you have a similar experience to that or no?
Yeah, I swore up and down that I was just like miserable at sex because it wasn't lasting the 48 minutes
Mm.
exactly, the 50 minutes exactly that it was in the pornos. This
Right.
chick's not screaming at the top of her lungs, so I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
And it made the communication window hard to like navigate because it's like I don't even want to talk to you because like
Mm.
I'm sure you've had a terrible time and shit. And she's like, no, like it's fucking fine. It's better than most because you actually gave a shit and like tried to like do shit that I would enjoy besides you just coming in here trying to fucking fuck my head off or some shit like that.
Right.
So it's been get really fucking like I'm
Graphic.
about to vomit just saying this shit, but like it makes me a more compassionate lover. Just being fucking being considerate that my partner
Oh
is able to
shit.
get off. So,
Hey, that's cute,
but
man. Hey, look, that's cute. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
yeah, but like I also kind of knew like I don't know if it's just from like exposure to like different avenues of media, but like most of the shit you see in porn is fake anyway.
Right. Um. So all right, boom. So that's that, right? Like there is like some there are like the stat that you quoted, where it's like that many people like kind of watch porn. Um. There's also like this effect when we kind of talk about people kind of getting numb to it. They call it like the Coolidge effect. So it's basically like whenever there's like a like guys generally are typically aroused when we fucking when we get like a new chick. It's like you're probably more excited at that time because it's new, and that might be from I don't know evolutionary standpoints of like men typically back in the day, but still honestly like just wanting to like spread their seed as wide as possible, like right. So I wonder like I think does that have anything to do with porn? Do you think that like actually contributes? Because I feel like it makes sense, right? You don't watch just one chick when you watch porn. You watch a bunch of different ones, and there's something there to be said about that because you got so many options and it's like it's unlimited. And like if you're with your girl, but then you can have online, next week, and you can also have Brittany, 2 days after. Like it's like you could have multiple different ones. I wonder if that really does play an effect.
So I know there was some statistic. I don't know where it's from. Someone did the study that's legit. So, all right, fuck your bibliography, guys. Sorry, but they said that our current generation is the least fuckingest generation ever.
Wow.
Like we fuck. I know, crazy, because like from my perspective,
Wow.
people just be slinging
Man.
dick left and right like no one's business. Like it's just everybody, their mom is fucking. They say we fuck less than every other generation.
Wow.
I think that is in part because we can be so gratified by ourselves.
Mm.
Like the sex toys are the best they've ever been. The porn's the best it's ever been. The ease of access to all these things and the stigma is so non-existent. It's just ease, because when you think about it, sex is never guaranteed until it's been like, all right, we've
Happening.
signed and dated the contract
Right.
and like we've all agreed. You're good. I'm good. All right, sex, consensual, perfect. The amount of effort and work it takes to do that. Like say you go meet a girl on Tinder, or say you meet a girl at a coffee shop, and you're like, hey, I want to take you out on Friday night. Now you have to get your car clean, get it washed, get it waxed, vacuum it out. You need to get the gas. You need to find the restaurant, get the reservation. You got to get a nice outfit on. You got to pick her up. You got to open the door. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk, get to know a person, communicate, listen to their boring stories. They listen to your boring stories. Hopefully, y'all hit it off and find out you're both not that boring after all. Maybe go see a movie or go walk in the park, do an event, something like that. And at the end of all that, you probably going home with some blue balls. It's just, it is what it is. Or, or you can bust out your phone, not in the coffee shop. Go home, bust out
I
your
hope
phone,
not. Shit.
hit that private browser, hit incognito, do your thing, and go on about your business. 30 minutes as opposed to 4 days and $100 something, $200.
That's it's. You said a couple of things that I thought was like really really profound. One was the fact that less, and that might have to do with the access, the ease of access to shit. And I agree with the ease of access. It's still also kind of weird to me that we are so interconnected more than ever, and we're still not having as much sex. Isn't that fucking weird? Like you got cars,
So,
and you got like trains and planes and shit. You
so,
know?
so think about it. You can, with enough, I think the term is cognitive dissonance. You can fuck a porn star that looks like your favorite celebrity right now. Like, there's a porn star that looks like Aubrey Plaza. I can pretend to fuck her, and I don't have to go out and find,
Right.
meet, court, convince, swindle Aubrey Plaza. Fuck. I don't gotta do all that. I can just fucking buzz up the phone. It's just, and then right after that, I can find one that looks like Scarlett Johansson. I can find one that looks like my 11th grade English teacher or my 12th grade history teacher. It's.
Yeah, I know you ain't really say that.
I ain't finna drop. No,
Exactly,
exactly
you
what
talking
I'm
about that song, dying, bro. Like,
Oh
bugging.
man,
You talking about perfect teeth?
come on, man. You already know. Oh my god. And that's the issue right there. That's the fucking issue.
That
right
is
there.
the
Don't
issue.
fucking
You are
disrespect
absolutely right,
nobody.
dog. You are absolutely fucking right. So, and the second thing that you said, I thought was really profound. You just kind of touched on it was the gratification aspect. The fact that you don't have to work hard to get it. And that's this thing about our generation. We like look for instant gratification. Like we want it now, and everything we do, we want it now. And the fact that there's like little to no effort makes it that much more better for people because they're like, you're right. It's like I don't have to put in the work. I don't have to swindle or to convince anyone, or to corrupt their minds while I do it. I could just do it. So yeah, that really definitely makes sense. But I think that's the issue, right? Because like we tend to like seek the low levels of pleasures. We don't like our generation. And I don't want to speak for the entire generation, but I think a lot of people typically don't like to. They don't want to like get that high pressure of like actual pleasure because it's so much more work, and that goes for a lot of different things. Because if you look at it, if you look at like the highest levels of pleasure, they typically they typically discern so much more work. Like you need to put in effort. Like for example, if you're going for a career, and you gotta like work to get up there. Maybe you gotta go to school for it, and then you gotta learn and study for it, or maybe you gotta like go through the experience phase of it, and then actually be able to do this to be able to attain that and live the lifestyle that you want. And that's so hard. Versus if I want to just like just watch porn and just get the instant gratification, like the highest levels of pleasure are always gonna be more work. It's always gonna be more work, and people just don't want to put in that work. I feel like.
That's what makes it so pleasurable to begin with.
But is it?
Is the fact that it costs so much to get there.
Exactly.
It's what
exactly.
is usually more pleasurable. Not always the case.
I agree. And the point from A to Z is so important, but like we don't care about that. It's almost like we just want to like microwave the shit as opposed to put that shit in the oven. But it's like
That's the thing. Do you know how much labor it goes into making a hamburger? Like all the parts and shit. Tomatoes grown here, lettuce grown here, cattle raised here. You gotta get wheat milled and processed into buns, and then the buns got to be toasted over here. Meat has to be freeze dried over here. It's so like logistically, it's a nightmare to make a single fucking cheeseburger. But we can get that shit. I can go down the street right now and get 40 of them shits for the cheap. For cheap as fuck. Like, if I gave someone a cheeseburger 300 years ago, their head would explode into a million little pieces.
Right.
They would have no idea how to process that because it's so much, something that really, I don't know if it's the fact that we shouldn't, as humans, experience levels of complexity like that, or just, we just haven't been able to yet, and this is us navigating that experience.
I would argue.
It's so...
I would argue that I feel like the fact that we're capable of doing it means that we should probably explore it. And because we know the pleasure that we get in it is also like a better pleasure. And when I say better pleasure, I mean like, for example, like when you go out and you try to talk to a chick, right? You go out, you put in the work, I don't know, you dress up nicely, whatever, and you get that girl because you get that girl because you fly, whatever it is that you got her, right? And y'all have sex. That's most of the times, like, unless it's a one night stand or some shit you was drunk, it's always gonna feel better than just like watching porn, because you know how shitty you feel when you watch that porn. You know how just like decimated your soul just feels like when you. It's like you seen that Chappelle shit where he's like, "Oh, I'm so terrible." Like after you watch porn, it's like, "Oh, what have I done?" like,
Mother of God, what have I done?
You're like a piece of shit after you do that, and there's a reason for it, because you're high. Like the level it takes you to get to that high just drops so quickly. It can't be.
So I will say, not every time. Probably 95% of the time, yes, but every now and again, especially when like I haven't done it for a while, I'll find one just normal ass basic porno, nothing crazy, no orgies, no fucking 50 million toys, just basic ass amateur fucking. And I just like to get a clean conscious nut. That's the only one. Okay. Everything after that is bullshit.
There are studies that even show that like we're gonna get into semen retention and all that shit later. That scientifically, it is good for you to like let loose. Like you shouldn't hold it in, is what they say. That's what, and that feeds into like testosterone and shit like that. Were you gonna say something?
Have you ever had a wet dream?
I actually personally never had. I don't think
I've had one. It was embarrassing as fuck. It was like my second week in college.
Oh my God.
And like your bed is so fucking close to your roommate's bed. Jeez. And like I was doing the semen retention thing with Bill while he was in boot camp because he couldn't beat off. I was like, solidarity, bro. I got you. You ain't beating off, I ain't beating off. So this was like probably 50 days or 40 days, something like that. And this is coming from like a high level of fucking constant, whenever feel nothing about it. It was a wreck. It was a mess. Point is, your body finds a way.
Right.
To get that shit out.
And I feel like because they even say I think it's like 7 days max is when testosterone effects are like beneficial. So if like you hold your semen in and you don't bust for up to like 7 days, it's like when it's like the height of it. You'll feel like Superman for like that one day. Like you'll feel amazing for that one day. After a while, it's like the effects of testosterone kind of wear out a little bit, and you go back to that same baseline. So it's basically like a graph where you're starting off from like let's say 0. You don't bust. You don't bust day 1, day 2, day 3. You get to day 7. You're at like peak maximum capacity. After the 7 days, you start to come back down. So imagine like a pendulum graph. You go up 7 days, you start to come back down every single day, whether you bust or not. So it's like there are benefits to like not busting. We gonna get into that, but scientifically, it does shows that like testosterone, as far as testosterone is concerned, benefit lasts only about a week. And so I feel like you can't excessively, obviously like nut every time. But I think the main thing that I'm talking about is like the way in which you go about busting a nut. Feel me?
So Chris Rock had a joke. He was like, when dudes come, we got two ways we come. One is like ketchup, just blah 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 splash.
Jesus Christ.
And the other one is like you can like pull floorboards with your toes type shit. So there's coming in, there's orgasm.
Yes.
It's those two.
Right.
Most I'm gonna just speak for myself. Most of the times when I masturbate, I'm really just busting a nut, not having an O. Probably 95, 98% of the times that I have sex, my soul is like leaving my body. Eyes are fucking going this way and shit. And like my toes got thumbs now and I'm pulling sheets and shit like that. All this crazy stuff.
Damn, though, who you with, bro? Shit.
That's the thing. I just be having a great ass time. I just be like, fuck.
Bro,
Fuck
like
it,
they
I'm
rocking
hype.
the world, bro. Like, bro.
You don't gotta do much. Shoot, you showed up. That's all I need. Come on. But I think what you were saying, like after testosterone peaks at like 7 days, starts to dwindle. The NoFap community, for those of y'all that aren't aware, is a community of men who are like, hey, porn is dangerous. We don't fuck with porn. We don't masturbate. If we're busting nuts, it's because we fucking.
Right.
Respectable. Subscribe to that shit for the longest time.
Can you tell us some of the benefits, or what are some of the alleged benefits of the NoFap community?
Oh, you get superpowers. You become Black Panther. It's like drinking that purple drink he drinks in fucking Black Panther and fucking superpowers and shit. Which low key, like, time out. That was a little racist, you know. Purple drink gives him superpowers and shit.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it's just me nitpicking. Shit. I don't know. But that's a different topic.
I do want to clarify. It is a purple leaf that you blend up. It is still purple drink. It's still purple.
It's purple drink. There's about 2 seconds to be a styrofoam cup and a styrofoam cup. We're not talking about it today. Fucking they're like on day 100, like they joke about you can like see through walls and shit, and like your dick grows 2 inches and your chest gets huge and your muscles just grow and shit like that. It's not like that. The benefits are mostly psychological because your body's used to getting that dopamine hit, and now that you're not giving it that hit anymore, it needs to find new ways to get it. So you can get that hit from smoking a cigarette or drinking, but if those two things aren't conducive to your normal life, for a lot of people they're not connected to pornography and masturbation, you're going to find new ways to have orgasms. Right. What's a new way to have an orgasm besides touching yourself? You can go have sex with this live individual over here, and that'll work. So that the superpowers that you get is really just your body pulling out all the stops to achieve that need, achieve the ends to that goal that it has to bust that nut. So you will become more charismatic because you need the charisma to have that orgasm. You will get stronger because bigger muscles means you can attract more mates. Right. It's really just a psychological trick. I don't really think it's anything physiological with keeping semen in your body.
I don't know though, man. I think. Okay, so like that's the NoFap community. Like, because if we look at the semen retention thing, which we both have done both of these things, and we both know there's like superpowers that you get, like, and well, using that lightly though, right? It definitely works. From my experience, at least. Look at semen retention, and the claim for semen retention is basically just holding in your semen no matter what, and they don't even give a damn
You
watching
married
if you
eating shit.
married, if you watching porn, whatever you do, just hold your coming. That's the whole goal of semen retention, and you do it for as long as you can. Some people tell you start for like a week, start for like 15 days, and do 30 days, and do like 60 days, and so on and so forth. But the reason why that one makes somewhat of sense to me is like because one, I'm a big guy of like when it comes to discipline, and I think the discipline aspect of the NoFap and semen retention communities, I think, is one of the biggest things. Which you're right, that is more of a psychological thing. That's a discipline thing where you're training yourself to say, "Hey, I'm not going to do this because I'm choosing not to do this," and so you don't. And that's like there's power in that, taking control of your life in that sense from the discipline aspect. But also when it comes to semen retention, they make some pretty good arguments, man. It's like semen is a life force. And they tell you it's like
Yeah.
50% of the ingredient. And I'm like, that I didn't really look at it like that. I'm like, that's a good point.
It's half a human right there.
Yeah. It's like you could make a baby with that shit. Why are you spilling that on sheets and like in socks and shit? Like it's kind of bugged out if you think about it from that perspective because proteins that are in that's in semen and the like I think it's like I heard a stat that's like crazy. Apparently like one drop of like semen is like 40 drops of blood, 40 units of blood. So it's like if you bust a nut, of course you're gonna be like laid the fuck out. It's like you just some blood. Like,
Well, I'm big into I say I'm big into all religions. I kind of get a little bit from here and there from everybody and stuff. I know that in Taoism, they have techniques of when you're fucking to hold in your semen and you don't ejaculate. And they teach like there's different like pinches you can do, different breathing techniques you can do, and stuff like that to be able to have sex without ejaculating, and you save it all because they say that it is indeed a life force. That's part of your chi almost. It's like
Right.
that's your essence, your energy,
it's
right
energy,
there.
yeah.
I definitely subscribe to it. I definitely get it. I definitely understand it, and
It's just not for me.
that's it. It's like I get it, and like I do it. I be
Right.
trying sometimes, but then sometimes it's just like it's the same thing. Why I stopped working out for a while, which that really doesn't really happen that much. I need a better example. It's why I stopped cooking my meals after a while. It's just like it gets too labor intensive when I've had a long ass shitty day,
Right.
and I really just want a burger right now.
I agree. And I think when it comes to semen retention, I don't think semen retention is sustainable in the long run. It's not. It's not.
Like I said, your body
Realistically.
will find a way to get
Yeah,
it out.
it's not. But it's the effects that you get within those days. That you get like crazy results when you do actually do it. Um, when it comes to NoFap, that's honestly like NoFap is pretty much don't watch porn, right? Don't masturbate, don't watch porn, and
Yeah,
like,
because you can masturbate without porn in
right,
NoFap. Like, there's ways of going about it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Depends on like if you're going monk mode or like the other shit, whatever.
right. And
But for
which
the
I
most
feel
part,
like that I recommend more so just because I like more so just because I feel like porn for one we established is not a natural fucking act. And honestly, if you even ask guys to like masturbate without porn, I guarantee you most niggas can't do it just because like we're so like especially our generation we're just raised on
I'm
fucking
gonna start
technology
thinking
and shit.
about porn.
Yeah, it's like they're able to eliminate porn. I guarantee you probably wouldn't masturbate nearly as much, and you would get that energy because when you do masturbate, people who are addicted to porn have like low levels of energy. They have no like typically don't have like any will to do shit. Be looking tired all the time. They don't want to do shit because like you don't feel motivated to do anything because that dopamine high that you're gonna get from like doing actual shit, you're getting it from like just 15 minutes of you just being in the dark alone watching porn. Like, and it's kind of fucked up when you think about it in that sense. So I think porn really is the issue, and not to mention that she's like a fucking $97 billion industry. That's like taking money away from our strippers. Our local strippers are getting killed out here. But
Hey, go support your strippers.
go support your strippers. Nah, I'm
When
joking.
you're not doing no fap, right?
I think porn definitely is detrimental because it physically rewires your brain. It like will actually like the actual neurological connections to your brain will actually fucking switch up. Whereas like they've done studies that show like people who are addicted to like heroin and shit, like hard drugs, your brain resembles someone of a porn addict, and that shit is fucking crazy. And we don't talk about it as much, but we all know it's normal. Like we all know people to do it. So I guess it's kind of raising that awareness to like pornography addiction is like fucking something that we need to start doing more as men. And yeah,
If you are addicted to pornography, you're not the only one. Just straight out the gate, like you're
for
not. Like
sure.
you be shocked at how many motherfuckers be like, I would do NoFap or I would do some retention, but
Right.
I need to bust nuts.
I just can't like, and that's also another thing. You're right, because like if you look at things, like you said, the compulsion that comes with like pornography and stuff like that, right? If you're subject to compulsive behavior, you're basically a slave because you can't help yourself. But if you're subject to like conscious behavior, meaning like the higher levels of rewards and shit, you're a master because you literally are taking control of the shit that you do. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And you're right. Like I think when we also say porn addiction, a lot of dudes think like I have to watch porn like 15 times a day for me to become an addict. Nah, that's not what addiction is, nigga. Like, can you stop?
Are you exclusively looking up Instagram thoughts at work on your breaks just because you like to look at thoughts? Do you find yourself spending an extra 10 minutes on the toilet
Or
because you're looking at fucking titty pictures, or you subscribe to like a lot of women's fashion Instagrams or Snapchats and shit? Like, you're not a fashion designer and you're not wearing this shit. What you watching it for? Like, be real. Like,
or
what you
and
like titties and
Instagram.
shit?
I'm
It's
glad you
cool.
brought up
like titties and
Instagram,
shit,
bro.
man.
Like we was talking earlier, and like Instagram is dangerous. I just recently got
Man.
back on Instagram for a couple days because of this quarantine shit. I'm like, let me check it out. And fucking apparently there's a whole another section of Instagram that's just basically porn. I was like,
It's
what
diet
the fuck?
Pornhub, man.
You said diet Pornhub? Yo,
It's diet Pornhub. Think about it.
that's
If
real.
you're trying to get fit, like I like when I go on Instagram, I'm like, I want to look up fitness shit. Okay, I'll get a few dudes working out, which every dude is fucking shirtless and shit, wearing tight ass leggings. That can be pornographic itself. But then the females, man, like,
Right.
she's showing us how to do squats, but I can see this chick's birth canal through her damn leggings. Like, it's like I'm sure there's some who are like, I only do it for the fitness. I'm just totally into the fitness. Cool. The rest of y'all motherfuckers know what the fuck y'all doing,
Yo.
all right? You're
Oh,
throwing
they
that
know.
ass in my face.
Nah, they know.
Throwing that ass in my face, and I'm looking. So
They are
we both
basically
wrong
killing two birds with one stone. It's genius. They know they look good. They know they got good bodies, and they also are selling fitness. So why not? Like if you look at a lot of these Instagram models, like most of their followers are men, not women, but they technically are supposed to be doing it for women, right?
But they have a shit ton of following from women who want to look like them.
right? But I'm just saying it's so bizarre that like a lot much more men follow them. Like it's like to your point, you're not a fashion designer, you're not a fashion model, you don't wear any of the shit they and you're not doing any of the
these workouts,
exercises,
bro.
Yeah, you're not doing those workouts. You're not doing butt workouts. But you watching them like you're following them more religiously than other people. So it's kind of fucked up. I mean, yeah, there's that whole aspect of like the social media complex where like people, especially a lot of women, want to like look like these people. People are not even natural.
No, it's all
Bro,
fake.
it's crazy. Brazilian butt lifts. I'm learning about all this shit, all these surgeries that they do. And
Fuck this. No, fuck the surgeries. Photoshop.
Photoshop, you're right.
Photoshopping on Instagram is a huge, like, Instagram versus reality is a subreddit. Check that shit out. Instagram
Crazy.
reality. It'll show you one picture, and then the same picture, like 2 degrees at a different perspective, and she looks or he looks normal as fuck, like everybody
Crazy.
else. And that's another big thing that the porn does is it creates this unattainable visual representation of a human. Like, no one looks this perfect. No one is this chiseled. No one has abs this cut all the time.
Right.
Fucking perfect skin, perfect hair.
Let's not forget about
Like-
the well endowedness. I mean, I'm not saying they're not guys who are that well endowed, but the angles definitely matter.
Bruh.
They definitely
Bruh.
hit the angles.
This is what they do. They get very large, above average dudes with very small, below average size females.
right,
That's like a industry standard.
right.
And then from the angles they use and fucking, because I've noticed this in real life for myself. I have huge fucking hands.
You do, man.
My dick looks like fucking, like compared to the porn, and my hands, this is some bullshit. But then when you get a female, he has very tiny hands.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay. It's a little bit better. All right. But fucking, There's no way in hell the fucking forearm that dudes just slinging around in porn videos, and like a lot of dudes feel insecure because they don't have fucking 9-inch and fucking tuna can diameter fucking dicks.
Like also the angles that they hit, for sure. I read something about that. Where it's like the angles they hit is crazy. Like they do some crazy camera work, and also like the finishing, it's usually fake. No, a lot of people are not.
That's
coming
like the third nut of the day for that dude.
Yeah.
Like
he's not coming that much. So you're right. All these things add to the disparity that like people feel when they watch porn and they feel like they're not enough sometimes. And a lot of men are being affected by that. Like not just men too. I want to mention women, a lot of women, but women just don't talk about it as much. Well, I feel like men are just more open to it. But we definitely, it's almost like women compare themselves to Instagram models. Dudes compare themselves to like the expectation they see in porn is what they expect in real life, which is never gonna be. It's never gonna equate ever. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. And it's like messing with people's heads. It's messing with people's brains. So I guess like when it comes to like NoFap and like semen retention, it definitely does work. Semen retention, I just don't think it's necessarily like sustainable for the rest of your life. You're not gonna be able to hold your semen in. You can't do it. You can't. You can do on and off, and I do think there's a lot of benefit in that. I think you need to be selective of where it is that you're busting your nuts. I think you need to be selective of like when you are busting your nuts. I do believe that. And I think there's something to be said when it comes to the discipline aspect of both of these programs. There are benefits to it. And try it out, man. Just that porn shit if you can.
I will definitely say the choosiness of where you decide to plant your seed is paramount to success with any of these routes you decide to take. If you get real picky, like understand that you carry life essence.
Word.
You have the potential to make life. Like don't take that shit lightly. Be very selective about where you decide to spill that seed, where you decide to plant that seed. Right. And if you're going to spill that seed, it better be a beautiful ass ceremony. Like this is life that's being lost right now. Like you need to celebrate that life. You need to celebrate what could have been. It better have been worth it.
Facts.
And I don't think you're gonna find that worthiness in front of your computer, on your phone, in the fucking bathroom, in your shower, with the goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? Treat yourself. You know what I'm saying?
You deserve better, King. Don't let
you deserve better, man.
Don't let nobody tell you otherwise, brother. Look, I absolutely agree with everything you said, Drew, and I think what you said was like really like profound. It's really deep. I absolutely agree. And with that being said, I mean, I think that like kind of concludes this talk. Unless you want to keep going or you got something to add.
I think that's it. Fuck, I did have something to add. Real quick, 2 more minutes. Yeah. Sexual transmutation. When you get the urges, man.
Yo, yeah, we not even nowhere near.
We can't just tell you don't lead off and then just all right, see you guys.
Shit, you right.
I need to give y'all some tools, man.
Yeah, we gotta give y'all some tools. We gotta push you on a game. All right, so sexual transmutation. You want to start or you want me to start?
So, sexual transmutation. What the fuck am I gonna do when I get the urge to bust nuts and I can't? It's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Gyms are closed. Can't go nowhere. It's quarantine. I'm on lockdown right now. My internet is fast as fuck, and I need to bust a nut right the fuck now. What do I do?
And they got that fucking Fios.
Man, I got that 5G out this motherfucker, dog. It's on an instant. What do I do? Anything else? So, for me, because I've been on this journey for like a month and a half now. Not all these days are consecutive. And funny enough, we was talking at the very, very, very beginning before we started recording. I was like, I just been down, man. I just can't fucking pin it. I started busting nuts again.
Of course. I know it.
Man,
you ain't had to say it.
Played myself. But I started taking college classes again. I haven't finished my degree yet. So I was like, all right, let me enroll in some classes. If I get the urge, I'll go online, do some work, do a few math problems, something, and then something else. Another thing, super fucking helpful. This is what I used to help me quit vaping and quit smoking.
Which I'm really proud of you, by the way, for doing that.
Thank you, bro. 2 months. 2 months clean for your boy. Congrats. You know what I'm saying? We out here. But a rubber band on your wrist, and
Really?
every time you get the urge, just pop the rubber band.
Huh.
That has been like the most effective because it always hurts just enough to piss you off. You're not gonna get numb to it. It's just like, oh fuck, it's just annoying enough
Right.
to work.
It's like the power of habit kind of thing. You're like finding the cues and you're like doing something else to kind of revert that. Um,
Yes.
that's a good point. All right, so sexual transmutation, as my brother Drew eloquently so put, is basically taking the energy that you would like get from like wanting to like, from sex, basically like your sexual energy, and channeling it somewhere else where you would get like some kind of other kind of result. So, for example, always just constantly chasing tail. There's a lot of energy that goes into doing that. There's a lot of
Yeah,
effort
money.
that goes into doing that. Instead of just using all that energy there, I can use that energy to put into like my craft, into my work, into something that I love to do, into whatever it is that's not necessarily sexual. And that is profound because once you're able to channel that, like for example, you can put it into like working out. You just want to like you feel the urge, not necessarily like at the moment that you feel the urge, but just it becomes like the pleasures that you get from like busting a nut does not have to necessarily be physically you busting a nut. It could be you hitting that new personal record of you like lifting a certain amount of weights. And that can also be like equivalent to like busting a nut because you're getting the same high, the same dopamine effect as you would when it as opposed to like busting a nut. So that's what sexual transmutation is. So with that being said, King, what you want to do is take your energy, right? And we said it's really important for you to like think about where it is that you're busting your nut. It's important for you to like know where it is that you're putting that energy and pivot that energy into something that's going to be more rewarding to you in a different sense. And like we said, you gonna have to like you gonna have to release. So when you do that, definitely be selective of it. Don't let it be on the sheets. Let it be with like a badass chick that you actually gonna like, or you just feel like you gotta get one out. Just go find somebody and do it real quick. But that energy that goes into like I know a lot of dudes who like for some reason feel like it's just like they just wanna they almost become like weird because they just constantly want to put so much effort in like talking to a girl and it's like yo first of all you're weeding yourself out just by doing that like you've already like cut yourself and cut your feet off because like don't nobody want no thirsty ass nigga talking to them. You
Big
thirsty though, they could
facts.
tell you thirsty, they could
Big
tell.
facts.
So it's like you doing that, it's like already shooting yourself in the foot. And instead of you trying to chase that chick, just be you, do something else, and I guarantee you, if you're putting all that energy into something else, like your craft, your work, your passions, working out, whatever it is for you, etc., they're gonna notice that. That woman's gonna notice that, and they're gonna come to you, if anything. So there's that like that's the power like sexual transmutation, and it's huge. Just look into it, look it up. It's a lot of benefits that go into that.
It all goes back to being a high value male.
Yes, sir.
Like people like Chanel doesn't have to convince anybody to buy their shit.
Mm.
Like Louis Vuitton doesn't have to convince you to go buy your shit. Apple doesn't have to convince you to buy their shit. It's because they're high value and they know it. They
Right.
know people are gonna clamor and fucking scream and cry and cut and push and shove to get their
Right.
products, especially if they're limited availability.
Right.
So think of yourself as you have a product to give the world. If someone's coming to you saying, "Hey, buy this thing, buy this thing, buy this thing,"
You're not gonna buy
stop
that
getting a
shit.
punch in the face. You ain't buying it. Like
It's like I don't
I'm
want
not.
this
I'm not.
shit.
Apple has never made a pop up ad. There's no need.
Facts. Like,
There's no need. I have to seek Apple out to find and buy their shit.
word.
You need to be seek outable.
Mm.
So take that energy, and this is why they say go monk mode because monks they have a pilgrimage up to the top of a mountain. They stay there. They meditate. They chant. They fucking do karate and shit. They need tools and the Ninja Turtle type karate shit. All the crazy stuff. That's what they do. They spend all their time and energy doing that. They need to be seeked out. Monks aren't going down knocking on doors. Hey, you guys want to hear about being a monk? It's like nah. People go
Right.
and pilgrimage themselves and go seek out the seek outable.
Right.
That's how you should be in all aspects. Be seek outable. Don't force yourself
On the
through
people.
or on anyone or
Right.
anything.
And I think that's absolutely true because women can also tell. It's like people could tell, like the energy that you create, you can tell when someone's being thirsty versus when they just don't really care enough. And it's like people typically want what they can't have, which is kind of fucked up. But that's how people kind of work.
That's how it works.
It's like if they know like you're not someone who's looking for them, they for one probably wondering like why the fuck is this dude like everybody checking me out? Why the fuck this nigga not checking me out? It's because you know your value, and your value is not necessarily in chasing tail. Your value is in other things that you do. And like the juice point, it makes you a higher value male because it's almost like economics, right? And I can always tie everything to economics. I love that shit. But it's like resources. If you're scarce, the demand's gonna go up. If there's too much supply, the price is gonna be low as shit because everybody got it. Like, what's your price tag, nigga? Like, you need to determine that, and that comes from the way that you carry yourself. That comes from where you put your energy, where you put your focus and efforts in, and all those things are profound in terms of like driving your life in a direction that you want it to be driven in, and your life is not centered around just like that chick or just you and that telephone. Watching those pixelated images. Your life is not centered around that. You're much more than that. And what you carry in your body is not just something that you should be spilling on sheets. There's like proteins and minerals and actual shit. And for the woman listening, that shit is good for your teeth. Just saying, it's good for your face. Cures
your
acne.
skin.
It's great for your skin. For it is scientifically proven by us.
It's the best for your skin, dog. Cleanse your pores, everything. Better than
all of
apple
that.
cider vinegar. I promise.
No lotion after you put that shit on.
Your hair.
Put in your hair.
Everything.
So, with that being said, King, you need to basically be aware of what it is that you're putting your energy into and how you're carrying yourself. And I think we've summarized that shit for y'all. Where that's like, one, point is bad. I think everybody knows that because you know how the fuck you feel. 2, retention, NoFap, definitely worth a try. Do them. Semen retention, probably not sustainable in the long run. NoFap, definitely sustainable. Definitely positive. They're both positive. And there is value in doing both. I think you feel more elevated when you do semen retention for sure. To be cognizant of the fact that you can't do it forever. And you have to take breaks. Being said, sexual transmutation, something that actually works. Be so focused on busting nuts. Be focused on busting nuts elsewhere in your life. Getting that same rush, that same dopamine hit, that same dopamine effect and doing other things. And you will definitely see progress and success in your life.
When you fuck, don't focus on busting nuts. Focus on the person you about to fuck.
Yep.
Sex should be all about giving pleasure because the person you're fucking should also have that in mind. It's all about giving pleasure.
Absolutely.
It's just a two-way street of give and take. And orgasm is a byproduct of spending time with somebody intimately. It's a beautiful process, man. Fucking right. It's lovely. I swear, man.
Time I hit my girl, I'm definitely busting all kinds of nuts because I'm trying to get mine. Fuck all that bullshit. Nah, I agree with all of that.
The date is April 25th, 2020.
Yes, sir.
Call to action for anybody listening. Starting right now. Not starting later on tonight. Not tomorrow.
Not Monday,
right
nigga.
Now.
Today, nigga.
Bare minimum. No more porn. If you want to bust nuts, all the other shit, fine. Starting right now, no more porn.
Relapse, and that's okay.
Oh yeah. But think about it as cumulative days versus consecutive days.
Right.
And all you really got to focus on is today, for the next hour, for the next minute, for the next second. I'm not going to watch porn. I would do literally anything better with my time.
With that being said, we appreciate y'all for checking in. Check us out on the next one. Catch us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Sure to leave a comment, subscribe, all of that good shit. Holla at us. Until next time, catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Keep your hands in your pants.